Welcome back, folks. Before the break, we were discussing best-selling author Zachary Pierre's early work. And if you were stuck with the show this far, you're in for a real treat, because I managed to get a copy of his early work essay compilation titled Unheard and Unpublished before it has even hit shelves. I was also granted the privilege of reading an excerpt on the air. This image-packed essay is entitled Forward and was inspired by his excursions through Delray and South Division and by the people he met there.
He crept down the street, feeling the resonating crackle of shattered glass getting smothered by his boots in his ears as he stared forward. The air smelt as decayed as the wood and metal that flanked him, and with each breath his lungs became more thirsty for air, like sailors who had drank sea water. He stared forward. Twin lights began to push through the air slowly like a needle through thick virgin fabric. The man stopped and reached into his pocket. He held his business's greatest asset. It was smooth and heavy like a brick, and he adjusted his palm to accept its edge. He stared forward. The lights were meager torches under the rays of an unrelenting black sun, yet they were pushed on, growing larger and larger. The headlights were the eyes of a viper closing in on its prey. The man's finger was squeezing the trigger guard. It would soon be time. He stared forward. The front of the black car crouched beneath the glow of the only street light for miles. The impeccable grille glistened in the light's beam. It was a hungry beast, and he was a mouse. It was methodically crawling forward, upsetting only the particles of gravel it felt necessary. His heart beat, yet he was a statue. His time in heaven had taken its toll. Now his life was but a pendulum swinging slowly back and forth between utter numbness and unrelenting agony. His life was nothing but an Ouroboros. He wanted with all his soul to leave the cycle. He had made his choice, though, and cradling his peace, he knew he was simply prolonging his own stay in purgatory. And whilst most souls in purgatory were being cleansed for heaven, he knew deep within what was left of his heart that he was being cleansed for hell. He stared at the car. It was almost upon him. He felt the rumbling of the engine. The rumbling was complemented by a deep thumping bass. Every few moments the old car shook like shutters in a storm. Its lights had finally penetrated the fog completely, and they blinded him. He squinted in defiance of the light, instinctively placing his finger on the trigger. His heart stopped as his eyes refocused. The car was right beside him. The man in the window knew him, and he knew him too. The man's face was bruised and grimy like a rotten apple. He watched as the sunken eyes of the man trapped in the thick-tinted windows of the car moved away. And just like that, the car vanished back into the darkness. He let go of the gun in his pocket. Once again, he stared forward. Exhaling, he continued to walk forward until the darkness swallowed him as well.